judgment. Even those rich souls that said that I'm never going to a food line, I'm never going to a food bank, I got enough money, I don't have to do like the rest of them do.
Yeah.
Even that class of people, the one that think they are white collar workers, even that class, all the money that they have in their pocket won't do any good when you go to the store and there's nothing on the shelf.
My Lord.
And you're hungry.
That's right.
So you're going to have to humble yourself. Just like those you've been oppressing, you're going to see how they feel.
Yeah.
Going to the welfare. Going getting them commodities. And that cheese and peanut butter. You're going to see how they feel. Because during this time, you're going to get in line yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, you're going to humble yourself. Quit exalting yourself. So he's telling them that. I mean, you can see that today, Mother Johnson. People going in food lines that never ever been in a food line before.
That's right.
And said they would never do it. But don't forget, every knee
That's right. Oh,
will
yes.
bow.
Yes.
And God is showing them this through this disaster that we are going through now, this COVID, that have everybody quarantined and isolated. Things are not handy like they used to be.
That's right.
You got to humble yourself. You got to work together. I mean, some of those singers said that a long time ago before this even happened. One songster said, working together we can make a change.
That's right.
Working together we can help bear this thing if we let love be our guide. If you look around during this time, you see nations and peoples and families and cities working together. Trying to come up with some money to feed each other.
That's right.
I don't care how much money that you have. So the same thing that was going on then is still going on now. That's what brought all this stuff on the world. It is injustice, losing the fear of the Lord, oppressing God's people. And I look at those nursing homes, talking about oppressing God's people, Sister Milton. Much as money as them people spend to go to the nursing home, so people won't care for them even the right way. Think they're doing them a favor. You're not doing them a favor, they're paying you. And God is showing you that. And we have to realize that God is the one that's going to vindicate. Might not come in my lifetime, I don't care. It didn't come in Martin Luther King's lifetime, he didn't care. But he said, I've been to the mountaintop. I've looked over. And I've seen the promised land. May not get there with you. But he said, but we as a people one day will get to the promised land. I might not be here when God come and judge everybody, but I know I'll be with him when he comes back. Whether I'm dead or alive, the dead in Christ shall be raised first. And we who are alive shall be caught up to meet him in the air. That's what it's talking about in Revelations. And as we look at this lesson, it's just paralleling what's going on and what's going to go on. And how glorious a time it's going to be. When Jesus Christ come back, we're going to be singing that old song, if you make it in glory, before I do, save a seat for me. Because I'm weary. Lord, I'm so tired. I've been built, Lord. Yes, I've been scorned. I've been talked about. But when we look at our text, I'm telling you, save a seat.
That's right.
Save a seat for me.
Oh, yes, Lord.
Let's read our text together. All of the figurative language in King James. But prayerfully, we can understand from the New Living Testament. Because there's some things that don't make sense in the King James. We're going to read this from the New Living Testament. Okay? Y'all got that? That second column. Will come and reign on this earth. Remember, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the old heaven and the old earth had passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God as a bride adorned for her husband.
Amen.
And that's going to be a new time. When Jesus Christ come and reign and rule on this earth. And we're right there right now. We're living at the edge of eternity right now. Out of all the dispensations, number 7, a number of completions, we're living in dispensation number 6 right now. The next great event to take place on this earth will be the return of Christ, or the rapture. The rapture before the great tribulation begin, because God is going to call all of his people out of this world before the great tribulation begin. So you will not go through the great tribulation. That's a Christian's view. When you talk about biblical theology, that's our view. That we will not go through the great tribulation. There's some religions believe that the church will go through the great tribulation, but that's not my perspective. Because I know that God thinks too much of his people to allow them to go through that particular time, because that would be a time as never been before, and you will recognize it if you are here. You know, a little sound like the COVID-19, that'd be nothing compared to the great tribulation. All these tornadoes will be nothing compared to the great tribulation. You will recognize when the great tribulation is here. And as we look at this word, it says, "For I, the Lord." He's starting off in that 8th verse. He says, "For I, the Lord, love justice." If you're going to be like him, they said, "I hate robbery and wrongdoing." And if you look at the King James, he said, "I hate robbery for burnt offering." Some may not understand that. Wrongdoing, bringing your false sacrifices to the Lord. Wrongdoing. He says, "I will faithfully reward my people for their suffering and make an everlasting covenant with them." He's talking to us in Israel. I will faithfully reward my people. And then in the King James it says, "I will direct their work in truth, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them." Get something that you can understand. You can't understand King James, don't be too proud and arrogant to read another translation to get some understanding. Because you cannot apply what you don't understand. And God's will is that we apply this so we can be redeemed and have our salvation, because salvation is of the Lord. That's why he wrote this down. He wants you to have your salvation. I don't want you to be keep living in an unjust place. Because there never will be justice. As long as this world is down here, you will never find justice down here. Not in the courts. Not in the Supreme Court. You won't find justice. Not with the lawyers and attorneys. It says in number 9, their descendants will be recognized and honored among nations. God is getting ready to vindicate. He's getting ready to lift up his people. He's getting ready to restore his people. You've been in bondage long enough. You've been in captivity long enough. I'm getting ready to bring restoration. That's all he's saying. How they despised you because you were overrun by the Assyrians. How they despised you because you were taken into Babylon. How they despised you because you was in Medo Persia worshiping idol God. How they despised God's children. But there will come a day. God gonna lift his people up and wipe the dirt off of them. Though your sins be as scarlet, I will wash them. It's white as snow. He said everyone will realize that they are people the Lord has blessed. When God look at you, Sister Mary, they realize all the stuff that you've been through. They can still see God is still blessing you. You ain't got to go around bragging. They can see it. That's what he's telling Israel. That time gonna come when Jesus Christ come and gather all of his sheep from the four corners of the earth. He's gonna gather all of them back. And Israel started their great regathering in 1948. So this stuff is literal. This is gonna come true. God is showing us what's gonna happen through his prophets. It says, I am overwhelmed in verse 10. I am overwhelmed with joy in the Lord my God. That's what he's saying. For he has dressed me with the clothing of salvation. Ain't that what it's about?
Amen.
And have draped me in a robe of righteousness. I have tried to live right. Let the wicked forsake his ways, and the unrighteous his thoughts. And let him return unto the Lord and to our God. For he shall have mercy upon him, and he shall abundantly pardon. But you got to forsake them ways. He says, I am like a bridegroom dressed for his wedding, a bride with her jewels.
Amen.
Y'all know how y'all look when y'all get married. Huh? Brides, y'all know y'all be trying to beautify yourself. Get all that makeup on, put on that lipstick and them veils on. Y'all be looking good. Huh? Trying to beautify yourself. But you be doing that for man. You're going to be doing better when it comes to the Lord.
Amen.
When it comes to the Lord, you want to be dressed.
Amen.
People talking about why you dress up to go to church.
Yes, no.
Some people get upset because you dress up to go to church. I don't want to go before my father looking like a rag.
No.
That's right.
That's not what he's saying.
Right.
And I know that the clothes don't say you are me.
No.
That's right.
But out of respect and honor for who I'm serving,
That's right.
I want to look my best.
That's right. That's
Y'all go to these parties and all that junk trying to look y'all's best. Y'all know we used to go to the clubs.
Amen.
I don't know, maybe y'all didn't. Maybe y'all didn't.
Yeah.
Every time somebody came to town, James Brown them come to town. They're gonna be down there buying something to wear.
And no boots and
I ain't gonna go down there looking like that. But when it comes to the Lord's house,
Yes, sir.
we don't want to get uncomfortable, for the Lord.
I know.
So we go to Him looking any kind of way.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we do.
I know.
Any kind of dress.
Amen.
And this is what the Lord said. He's already telling us. I'm like a bridegroom dressed for his wedding, or a bride with her jewels. Everything that she be wearing. You beautifying yourself. Not for man, but for the Lord at that day when Jesus Christ come and judge and sit on his throne.